The questions that we asked this evening: Congress's charges justified or frivolous? Because the Congress has outrightly questioned the government on certain facts of Operation Sindoor, especially the statement given out by the Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S.J. Shankar. Should the government clear the air on certain pertinent questions? Political consensus on Operation Sindoor over. We'd seen a strange sort of unity earlier, but now that completely up in smoke. This is a question for the Congress. Why so much skepticism about operation and the government's intent? I want to cut across right now to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Ashutosh, author, political analyst; Rajat Sethi, political commentator; Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party; Shama Mohammed, national spokesperson, Congress. All of you will get 2 minutes to make your points. I want to begin with Shama Mohammed. Shama Mohammed, let's break it up in parts where the entire controversy or the contention coming in on Operation Sindoor is. The latest, I want to ask you, Shama Mohammed, is it right for the Congress president to label Operation Sindoor chut put, which I would reckon would seem to suggest a small friction or a small conflict?
Okay, Preeti, before I speak, I have a request. There's a woman on this panel representing BJP. She abuses, she interrupts. I would like you to see to it that she does not do it, because I have used respect for you and I've come as a guest because of you. All right, because I just saw her right now and I know how she is abusive. Now, let me get to the point. Now, let us take facts. Let us see what we are seeing today. Today, I was really very shocked and hurt and angry that there is a picture of Rahul Gandhi with a half face and Asim Munir, who is a terrorist in an army uniform. Putting somebody in a constitutional position in such a picture, it is sedition. Let us make it very clear. We had put up a picture, a Gayab, and we were attacked. Anything against Narendra Modi, we say it is anti-national. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, is sending MPs all over the world to talk about Operation Sindoor. Here, his idiotic Amit Malviya is putting up a poster equating the leader of opposition, who is, said, I give full support to this government for Operation Sindoor, against a terrorist in an army uniform, that is Asim Munir. That is sedition, and strict action must be taken. Number two, there is a minister called Vijay Shah, who has said Sofia Qureshi is the sister of a terrorist. When you speak against the army, it is again, when he's speaking against her, it is against the army. The Supreme Court has pulled up the Madhya Pradesh government saying, why have you not taken action? Why has Modi not taken action against the anti-national Vijay Shah? If one does not take action against an anti-national, who is anti-national? Mr. Narendra Modi, of course, because these are very, very pertinent questions we are asking. Now, Rahul Gandhi has asked certain questions because he has written a letter asking for a special session of Parliament
okay.
to talk
about. Shama Mohammed, your fader is going to go down. We won't be able to hear you. I'll circle back to you in exactly 2 minutes. I just want to once again come in and set the premise of this debate. Let's all, and this is for not one panelist, for everyone, let's not all be abusive at all to those who are in the panel or outside. Because Shama, you also used a word right now in your own opening remarks, and I would also hope that you'll also avoid it the next time, right? So let's hope this is for everyone. I want to bring in now Sanju Verma into this conversation. Sanju Verma, the fact is, why is it not in national interest to question the government on certain issues where it comes down to Operation Sindoor? That should be the primary job of the opposition. If they're asking questions to equate them to Asim Munir and to call them Pakistan stooges, is it really right? Because what they're doing is exactly what they should do, ask questions of the government.
Preeti, I have huge respect for you, but I did not want to make this into a tutu meme. But since Shama Mohammed started by saying that there is a panelist who's very abusive, referring to me, let me remind, this is the same Shama Mohammed who had to delete her tweet after calling Rohit Sharma fat. On your show now, she called Amit Malviya as the idiotic Amit Malviya. On your show now, she said, who's anti-national? Of course, Narendra Modi. So I repeat, Shama Mohammed is a low IQ, dim-witted Congress retainer. Now let me come to the moot point. I did not start it. She started. She has to listen to the response if she gets abusive. Preeti, she called the Prime Minister anti-national on your show. Let me now come to the moot point. The moot point is this, Preeti. There is the National Security Act of 1980, which was made more stringent by 1984 by whom? By Indira Gandhi. ये सारे कांग्रेसी कहते रहते हैं इंदिरा गांधी होना आसान नहीं है. Under the National Security Act, the political establishment of the day, the Modi government in this case, reserves absolute unequivocal right to disclose information as it deems fit in extraordinary times such as these. We are in a warlike situation. Pawan Khera and Rahul Gandhi are asking कितने विमान उड़ गए, कितने विमान गायब हो गए, कितना आर्थिक नुकसान हुआ हमें, कितने आतंकी बचकर चले गए. So Rahul Gandhi and Pawan Khera in slow motion, please go back and listen to the press conference by the DGMO, Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai, and Air Marshal A.K. Bharti answered every pointed question. Please do not undermine the valor of our armed forces. And Shama Mohammed, next time you call the Prime Minister anti-national, I will take you and drag you to the court.
Okay. There. All right, your time is up. You know, the fact is, I just want to make one quick interjection before I move on. You know, we're all adults here, each one of us. I would really hope I respect each of you. I would hope you respect the show and respect each other. And beyond that, you know, I can't constantly keep monitoring this debate as a class teacher. The other thing, you have 2 minutes. You can choose that to attack each other, or you can choose it to make a cohesive point in support of your party. I want to bring in Ashutosh, who's also with us right now, as well as Rajat Sethi. Ashutosh, the larger question is that the opposition, as it should, is seeking accountability from the government. But it's a fine line, because you seek accountability for the government, but on the same line, you need to present a united picture against terrorism. To, at this juncture, seek questions and look skeptical about the government and Operation Sindoor, call it chut put in the Congress president's words, do you think, you know, that should pass?
See, Preeti, we are a democratic society, we are a free society. Before answering your question, let me quote, let me take you back in history. 1971, the Supreme Court of America has given its verdict on the Pentagon Papers. And Nixon administration tried its level best that the truth about the Pentagon Papers should not be made public. But Supreme Court did not accept their logic and said the citizens have a right to know what is happening. And citizens have more right to know when the country is in crisis and when the decision or the policy decisions are made by the government which can really jeopardize the peace of the country and the citizens. That's the fundamentals of a democracy. So if anything is happening under the Operation Sindoor, I can understand that when the operation was going on, the whole country was with the government and everybody knew this. But once the Operation Sindoor is over, opposition and the concerned citizen have every right to ask questions. And the penetrating questions, the question which should really trouble government. The government cannot hide behind that this is something related to the national security and this will jeopardize. No, I do not agree with that formulations, because the government has every reason not to tell many things. I can understand that. But government can always call the leader of opposition and the opposition leaders within the four walls of the room, can tell them, can explain them. But this public spectacle which has been made for the last week or so, this is demeaning our democracy. And this clearly shows that the government doesn't want to answer questions. Government cannot hide behind that this is demoralizing army and something like that. The Indian history is known to the fact that when the 1962 China wars were there, opposition asked questions. During the wartime, the parliament sat and tough questions were asked and government responded.
Okay, so your fade is down. I want to bring in Rajat Sethi. Rajat Sethi, especially in times like this, diplomacy is a tightrope walk. Every word that we put out there needs to be very measured. Every statement needs to be completely watertight and not open to interpretation. Now, what started this all between the BJP and the Congress was the statement, and I'll take this question to the BJP spokesperson as well, of the Minister of External Affairs, Mr. Jaishankar. To quote him verbatim, he said, Rajat, we had sent, I'll go again, we took because even at the start of the operation, we had sent a message to Pakistan saying we are striking at terrorist infrastructure and not military, and the military has an option to stand out and not interfere. Of course, thereafter, we had many clarifications, both from the Ministry of External Affairs as well as the DGMOs, who made it very clear that we only informed Pakistan after the first strike. But a statement like this, Rajat, is open to interpretation. And the Congress did exactly that, because if you read it in the first draft or without any clarification, it seems that we did in fact forewarn Pakistan. And the sheer fact in diplomacy we have to come out with clarification after clarification is really not on.
You know, English literature, English professors or teachers of all the schools would be pulling their hair right now that how could 2 or 3 lines of our foreign minister couldn't be interpreted by the collective opposition, including Congress party and its entire ecosystem. It seems like one BrahMos has landed on the collective intellect of Congress party and has completely impaired their thinking. I am telling you, Preeti ji, if God forbid, there is another terror strike that happens in India, India will first go after the terror camps or mark out individual terrorists and go after them. I'm telling you preemptively. I don't know when it's going to happen in the future. How is this statement make me as if I'm colluding with the Pakistanis? I mean, do people who interpret and listen and read stuff have basic sense of comprehending the statement or not? Were we clear that we are going to attack Pakistan and attack and go after their territory? Of course not. Operation Sindoor objectives were pinpointed, clear from day zero. The day zero being the Pahalgam attack. Now we are going to come after that. The same pattern happened in Balakot. The same pattern happened in Uri strikes also. And the same pattern will happen in the future if Pakistan dares to attack again India through its terror modules. Now, I don't understand. This is what I'm trying to say. In the one-upmanship that Congress is finding itself in, they are currently losing the battle. Therefore, what has happened is that these minions around Rahul Gandhi, including Jairam Ramesh and Pavin Khade, they have lost it completely. They are not able to control their urges and are just putting up nonsensical posters upon. It is demeaning to say the least. And above all, it is aiding Pakistan's narrative. All these cartoons that they are tweeting here are actually being broadcasted on Jio TV in Islamabad. They should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely, if you can't add anything constructive, do not destruct our country.
Okay, your time's up. I'd like to give all of you 2 minutes, so I'm going to take myself out of, this conversation without any questions. I want to begin with Shama Mohammed. Shama Mohammed, 2 minutes, your final submission, ma'am. Go ahead.
Things. When he said about why the Congress is speaking and talking, one, we have asked for an all-party meet, not given. Special session of parliament, not given. Like Ashutosh said in 62, special session of parliament was called to explain. After 26/11, I remember we invited L.K. Advani in parliament to speak on this. So that is how it happens. It did not happen here. Now he mentioned how we are attacking based on, like you said, when you first read it, of course it's forewarning. We have experience of Devendra Singh being caught with Hizbul Mujahideen after the Pulwama attack. Where is Devendra Singh? Has he been hung? No, we don't know where he's out of jail. We have Pathankot, where ISI was called to investigate. The perpetrator of the crime is called to investigate. Let me make one thing clear. We caught Ajmal Kasab and hung him. We caught Afzal Guru and hung him. Where are the 4 terrorists? Where are they hiding? Do we know where they are? Have we caught them? At a time when we are going abroad to explain about Operation Sindoor, here you're equating my leader, Rahul Gandhi, with Asif Munir, who is a terrorist and nothing more. And also, let me tell you one thing. On one side, we have Vijay Shah, who is out there. Even the Supreme Court has told BJP they have not taken action. There is Sofia Qureshi on the other side, and Mahmoodabad, where New York Times and every other paper is asking, the man has not done anything. Why is he behind bars? Just because he's a Muslim. That is the thing. And it is our right, the Congress party is right to ask questions. We'll continue to ask questions on what has happened. If the Prime Minister of India refuses to answer, just like Advani asked a question after 26/11, when Manmohan Singh was ready, the Prime Minister of India doesn't come for the all-party meet. He is never there. He's quiet on Vijay Shah. I want to know today from the Prime Minister of India, why was Pakistan forewarned?
Why did we have a ceasefire when we were ahead? And what is this
Okay,
thing
ma'am,
about
the fader is going to go down. We won't hear you. 2 minutes. Sanju Verma, your final 2-minute submission. Please go ahead.
Preeti, let me make this very clear for the benefit of your audience. Ahmedabad bombing, Congress ne kuch nahi kiya. Jaipur bombing, Congress was caught napping. Coimbatore blast, Congress was caught napping. Mumbai 26/11 terror attack of 2008, 166 people dead. The proxy government of Sonia Gandhi was snoozing at the wheel. Chinnaswamy Stadium blast in Bengaluru, the Congress was snoozing. Pune bakery blast, the Congress was snoozing. Samjhauta Express blast, the Congress was snoozing. Now look at the track record of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We avenged the Uri strike via the surgical strike of 2016, which was a ground operation, and we crossed the LOC. 2019, we avenged Pulwama with the Balakot strike, which was an air strike, and this time we not only crossed the LOC, we crossed the international border, which had never happened for the last 6 or 7 decades. Then what happens in 2025? Via Operation Sindoor, forget crossing the LOC, forget crossing the international border or going beyond POK. We struck at the heart of Pakistan. We struck at Lahore, at Karachi, at Punjab province in Pakistan, at Rawalpindi. And you know what? Neutral military experts, one of the foremost war historians, John Spencer, he says this was one of the most decisive victories in recent times. Tom Cooper says this was a great victory by the Modi government. Walter Ladwig, security expert in London, he says Modi government has done the unthinkable by bringing a nuclear power like Pakistan down to its knees in less than 23 hours by completely paralyzing their 11 Air Force defense systems. And yes, let me tell you, terror has a name, terror has a religion, and that is radical Islamist terror. And Congress keeps appeasing.
Ma'am, your fader has gone down. Like I said, I'm keeping myself away. No questions. I want to, give it to the panelists. 2 minutes, Ashutosh, for you to make your final comments. Go ahead, sir.
Preeti, I have 2 questions. One question is why the Prime Minister has not taken the trouble to lead all-party meeting and brief opposition on that issue. I have been a journalist for a very, very long time, and I have never seen something like this in my past. Neither the Narasimha Rao, not the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, nor the Manmohan Singh, none of them. Whenever there's an all-party meeting, the Prime Minister himself briefed the opposition, and any question, whether small, big, or whatever, he faced the question and tried to answer the question and tried to convince opposition with respect. Second point. First of all, I fail to understand whether it is before the event or after the incident. Why Government of India needed to inform Pak Army? This is a question which is really astonishing. For the simple reason, because either we make a distinction that Pakistan Army is not the army which is sponsoring terrorism. And if we believe so, and I think Government of India believes so too, that it is the Pakistan Army, it is the Pakistan administration and establishment which is behind the terrorist activities, then why we are making a distinction? Why we are attacking only the terrorist organizations? Why so? If we are making this distinction, should I not infer that we believe that the General Munir is not a villain? And that is why we make a distinction between Hafiz Saeed, Jassim Mohammed Chief, and General Munir. Sorry, that's a wrong assessment, and that should not be there. The fact of the matter is that the Pakistan sponsors terrorism. Pakistan Army, if tomorrow decides not to support terrorism, there will not be terrorism and there will not be terrorist activity on this country, on our land. So this really affects me and this really troubles me, that why Government of India needed to alert and tell and inform Pakistan Army that we attacked only the...
Okay. 2 minutes, Rajat Sethi, please make your point, sir.
Well, if this is the last interjection, I can only say that the whole Ramayana is over and we are still asking what is Ram and what is Sita. What do I say to such ridiculous statements? I don't understand, why is this repetitive thing coming in? Why did you brief? Is it as if there was a hotline which was opened up between our MEA and their foreign minister discussing that, see, I'm going to, at this point in time, I'm going to blast your terror camps? What is Ashutosh even talking about? My point is take a chill pill, understand the consequences of what you are trying to peddle here. The point simply remains that when a terror attack happened on us, we had the right to respond. From an international justice jurisprudence standpoint, you have to have a correspondingly equally terror-focused, a very surgical attack. Otherwise, people around the world will call you an aggressor. Does this basic sense, is it that difficult to comprehend? India gave a proportionate response in the first instance. It was only when Pakistan again attacked our military bases that we went after them lock, stock and barrel and gave a bloody nose to Pakistanis. Why can't this basic sequence of events makes them so so unclear and so confused as a whole lot? I just fail to understand that. Again, my simple point here is Congress now, after making treason level allegations against the foreign minister, absolutely has lost the ground to be engaged by the government. The government should henceforth should not engage Congress party, because these are bunch of lumpens who are not worthy of civil conversations anymore. He should be ostracized, left aside, and all decisions should be taken by the government by directly engaging with the Indian public. He is not my leader of opposition, and I will fight for every instance where he opens his mouth and utters rubbish and finishing the incomplete agenda of Mullah Munir. That is what he is doing.
All right, your time is up. I'm going to leave it at that, because I know each one of you want to come in, but that's that. We're going to leave it for our viewers to decide. We have an opposition. The job of the opposition is to question the government. Is the opposition doing that as per our viewers, or is it stepping a line? We'll let you decide on that.